So Alphabet Google has released their latest quarterly figures. It was a pretty good quarter in my opinion. We'll go over the numbers in just a bit. Yes, there were some little misses here and there. For example, YouTube was a bit weaker than expected. Maybe that's one of the reasons also why Meta is down, I think 1.5% after hours, not that much. I know some people have already asked me during the Tesla live stream about my Meta opinion right now because it is quite a big company in my portfolio. Nothing much. If it drops more, I'll add, but right now I'm pretty confident and waiting for the earnings report. They launched their new Llama model. It has been very, very well received and actually got some positive commentary from Elon Musk on Mark Zuckerberg. So, I mean, okay, quite a revelation, I would say. But going back here to Google Alphabet, stock is down a tiny bit, not that much. Year to date, it's up 30%. Valuation wise, my opinion still makes a lot of sense. I did a video about Alphabet and Meta. I think 23.5 times forward PE is not that expensive. Company is extremely profitable. Google Cloud is growing. So yeah, let's dive a little bit further. If you enjoy this type of videos, leave it a thumbs up, subscribe if you have not, we really appreciate that. If you want to support me even further, do check out the link down in the description and in the pinned comment with the top 10 best stocks to buy now, or go to fool.com/couchinvestor. Thank you very much. So I do want to first start with three things that I noted from the earnings call, which was a bit boring, but okay. First off, Google says they are investing another $5 billion into Waymo. Now, Waymo gets overlooked in my opinion. I think Waymo, if it is successful, of course, I don't think it's anywhere near profitability right now. But I do think that if you're looking for an option towards a robotaxi network that will scale in the future, that is already working right now, if you're afraid of regulation and stuff like that, it's already functioning right now. I think Google, with another bet here, and a pretty big one since they're investing another $5 billion in Waymo, I mean, this could be huge for them. We've talked about robotaxi network for Tesla and how big of an impact that can have on the business. And I mean, if Google can figure it out, that will have quite a positive impact on the stock as well. Then they said something about margins. So 2024 margins reiterated to be expanded versus 2023, but Pixel release and depreciation will impact Q3 margins. So that's maybe what is causing a little dip here. There is a big Google event mid-August, mid to end August. They'll be revealing a lot of new products, probably the Pixel 9 as well. And lastly here, which I'll show you in just a second, Google is now making over $1 billion in interest income per quarter. So if you think that tech companies, big tech companies cannot succeed during high interest rates environment, well, clearly that's not the case. So let's start here with a comment from the CEO and outgoing CFO. So Sundar Pichai says, our strong performance this quarter highlights ongoing strength in search and momentum in cloud. We are innovating at every layer of the AI stack. Our long-standing infrastructure leadership and in-house research teams position us well as technology evolves and as we pursue the many opportunities ahead. I believe he was asked during the earnings call about how AI can help other companies monetize it better, return on investment, etc., etc. He also said something about in-house, how AI will help Google itself, Alphabet itself, become more efficient, more profitable. That's always great to hear. Then as for the CFO, we delivered revenues of $85 billion, up 14% year over year, driven by search as well as cloud, which for the first time exceeded $10 billion in quarterly revenues and $1 billion in operating profit. As we invest to support our highest growth opportunities, we remain committed to creating investment capacity with our ongoing work to durably re-engineer our cost base. And so these are basically the results. Revenue, $84.74 billion, up 14% year over year. Operating income, $27.42 billion with an operating margin of 32%. I mean, year over year improvements here is quite something. As for net income, going from $18.36 billion to now $23.61 billion. Diluted earnings per share for this quarter, $1.89 compared to $1.44 same quarter last year. And so we've got Google Search and others at $48.5 billion. That's up 13.8% year over year. YouTube ads, $8.66 billion. That's up 13% year over year. Google net worth $7.44 billion, that's down 5.2% year over year. If we look at Google subscription platforms and devices, $9.31 billion, that's also up 14.4% year over year. And now the big one here, Google Cloud at $10.34 billion, increasing 28.8% year over year. Other bets has increased 28.1% year over year. If you look at total TAC, which is traffic acquisition cost, and a small increase year over year as well, $13.38 billion compared to $12.53 billion, and number of employees have been reduced again. If we look at operating income, Google Services continues to do quite well, $29.67 billion compared to $23.45 billion. Google Cloud, as they mentioned, now the first time above $1 billion here, so at $1.17 billion. Other bets still losing money, so that basically cancels out Google Cloud. And then Alphabet level activities, as we've seen also last quarter, that's another loss of $2.28 billion. So overall total income from operations, $27.42 billion. They also say here that they announced a cash dividend of 20 cents per share, and overall dividend payments to stockholders were $1.2 billion, $173 million, and $1.1 billion respectively, talking here about Class A, Class B, and Class C shares, totaling $2.5 billion for the 3 months ending. As for interest income, like I said before, we're now at over $1 billion a quarter, as you can see right here. Free cash flow for the quarter was $13.45 billion, a bit less than last quarter, I believe $16.5 billion or so. And they repurchased $15.68 billion of stock this quarter. And so overall, right now, if we look at this stock, we are just at the 50-day moving average, $178 or so. If we can hold there, that would be great. Of course, this is just the start of the earnings season. So the more, let's say, cloud players report, the more advertising players report, might impact the competition. So Google reported, impacted a little bit Meta, maybe a little bit of Amazon as well. Whenever these companies will report, it might also impact Alphabet. But I'm pretty happy that the big guys are reporting before Snapchat, because if you remember, 2 years ago, 3 years ago, Snapchat was always the first, let's say, advertising player that reported. Lo and behold, the numbers were never good, so it tanked the overall market and especially the advertising players. Now, that's not happening anymore. And so overall, to conclude, while you might not have gotten the market's reaction, right, because it's down a little bit after hours, maybe tomorrow when you're watching this video as well, you shouldn't really care because the quarter was another pretty good one. And as you see here on the screen, shares outstanding continues to go down, free cash flow per share continues to go up. If you believe that Google still stays as a tech AI search powerhouse for years and years to come, then you should be very, very comfortable because this is one of the strongest companies on the planet, and it has segments of its business that is growing at 28% year over year. It has YouTube as well, which in my opinion can still continue to grow. User-generated content, licensed content, sports, gaming, shopping, you name it. I think Google, like Meta, like Amazon, like a lot of big tech companies are still go-to investments in my opinion. So that's about it for this video. If you enjoy this type of videos, leave it a thumbs up, subscribe if you have not, and I'll see you all in the next one. Bye bye.